but they should have definitely given a sports mode in it just to peppy up the performance a little bit.
The 2022 Mercedes GLS, and it was Mercedes' answer to the big world of big SUVs. And today I'm here to find out how good of an answer it was. Because I'm Samarth and this is Florid. So let's talk GLS. So this GLS was launched in India in the year 2020 and was in the market till 2024. And this was Mercedes' answer to the rising game of SUV in India and worldwide, and it did perform well. So the GLS in India was launched in 3 variants only, and starting with the 450 Matic, which was petrol, priced around 1.3 crores. Then came the 450D, which was the diesel variant of the GLS, and it was priced around 1.4 crores. And then came the big daddy, the GLS 600 Maybach, which was priced over 3 crores. I borrowed this GLS from Revit Autosports. They've got an amazing collection of pre-owned luxury cars both in Delhi and Gurgaon. All the links are in the description below, so guys, check them out. So let's talk about the exterior design of the GLS. And when this GLS came out, a lot of people used to complain that the previous GLS had a more commanding presence on the road, but in my opinion, she is doing just fine. So let's start with the bonnet. The creases were made more sharper and broader to make the car look more bulky. Also, you've got this Mercedes star on the hood. In my opinion, it looks really cool. Coming down to the lights, I'm not a big fan of these newer lights because they look small on the car this size. Now coming to the main center of attraction, which is this massive grille of the GLS. It is absolutely massive. Let me put my face right next to it so you can see how big of a grille it is. But in my opinion, this grille for a car priced at over 1.3 crores is a little flimsy, doesn't feel nice. Now coming down, Mercedes doing its thing. You've got your fake vents over here, which in my opinion looks absolutely rubbish. And you've got this chrome lining across the bumper, which looks cool. Now moving on to the side of the car. From the side, this GLS looks absolutely massive. I mean, look at the size of it. It's huge. But starting the side profile with this sturdy rail bar on the top, which gives the car a more rugged look. Moving down, you have chrome strip all across the window panels, which gives the car an elegant look. Now moving down, the windows are huge. The door feels nice and heavy. In fact, the front door also feels nice and heavy. On the side view mirror, you have a camera down below for its 360-degree technology, which I'll show you later in the video. Also, a car this size needs a big fuel tank, and thankfully it is fitted with a 90-liter fuel tank, which is good. From the side again, there you have got your running boards, which are in metallic and rubbery material on the top, but they are pretty much useless. I'll show you later in the video. Also, what I don't like about the side profile are these plastic panels across the tires. For a car this price, could have used a better material or something better, I don't know. But being a GLS, she rides on 21-inch alloy wheels, but in my opinion they look a little small because the car is huge. And for bigger alloy wheels, you gotta spend more, around 2 crore more to get the GLS Maybach. The rear of the GLS, and in my opinion, it's a pretty attractive rear, and the whole credit goes to these lights. Mercedes have done an incredible job with designing these lights. Now talking about the overall rear profile of the car, like I've said 1,000 times, it is huge. But Mercedes have added chrome bits to the rear to make it look more elegant. For instance, over here the load lift is also covered with chrome, and you have some added chrome on the bumper as well. What I don't like about the rear are these fake exhaust vents. Why do you do this, Mercedes? Why? Now wrapping up the rear, and the last thing that I like to show you are these curves on the rear fender, which makes the car look big and bulkier. And that's pretty much it about the rear. Now that we've covered the exterior design of the GLS, let's talk boot space quickly. And being a GLS, you get an electronically operated tailgate as standard. And once you open the boot, you see with all the 3 rows in upward position, the space is pretty good. It is 355 liters. And if you look around, you've got some hooks over here, you've got another hook over here. You have a 12-volt socket right at the back. Now comes the interesting part. So being a GLS, you don't even have to move a finger to fold down the seats. Now let's come to the seats. So from the right side, you control the 3rd row, and from the left side, you control the 2nd row. And then you have a shortcut button which can put all the seats down together with one single touch. So let's start with the 3rd row.
2 hours later.
Of course, takes ages. 3rd row folded in, you have got 805 liters, which is best in the segment. And
Two hours later.
with the 2nd row folded, you've got 2400 liters of space. And as you can see, it is massive. It even makes me look small, and you can lie down in your GLS. Now let's talk practicality using the bottle of practicality.
A huge car has huge cup holders at front, too huge to fit the bottle of practicality perfectly.
The door bins are huge, and you can fit up to 3 bottles of practicality over here. And the rear door bins are huge as well, as you can fit up to 2 bottles of practicality over here. And the rear cup holders are present, but not over here, and it can fit 1 bottle of practicality, and the other one is for your energy drink. You've got your net storage space over here in case you want to keep some items. In case you feel like hiding items from your passengers, you can keep it over here. Also, it's got 2 C-type ports. Also, you have 4 USB C-type ports, 2 on each. And the glove box is pretty big enough and can fit up to 5 bottles of practicality.
Center armrest space is huge, but sadly it doesn't fit the bottle of practicality, while you have a single C-type port over there to charge your mobile devices.
The sunroof is pretty big and wide, but it does not open all the way. For a car that's priced over 1 crore, I thought keyless entry was standard, but that's not the case. So every time you gotta find the key and open the car. While the GLS aces the practicality part, but here are some annoying features, and starting with the car might be well insulated from inside, but on the outside it's a whole different story. Take a listen. She does contribute to some high noise pollution. While these running boards look cool, but they are pretty much useless. Let me show you. So they're not wide enough, so you might slip while getting in. Every normal person will get in the GLS like this, and while getting in, you will dirty your trousers or your legs like me through these boards. With the car priced at this range, you expect all the materials to be nice, but Mercedes have cheaped out somewhere. For example, this plasticky bit and a plasticky bit over there and over here. Also, the position of the engine start-stop button is pretty weird, and the materials used are cheap. The infotainment being a touch screen can catch a lot of fingerprints on it, and you might have to clean it regularly. GLS does not offer sports mode, so no track day for the GLS. It doesn't, so you gotta slam your door every time, and that's not luxury. As I said before, Mercedes have done an incredible job with the GLS, as there were not many annoying features, but there are loads of cool features. Let me show you. The rear cameras are hidden, and as soon as you hit her in reverse, they pop out. As standard, you get 3 memory seats on each side, 18-way adjustable seats, and a Burmester audio for that premium sound experience. The driver's display is highly configurable, and you can change it to many settings and many displays as you please. You've got 6 different themes to choose from: 1 off-road, 1 eco, and 3 comfort. Let me show you. Starting with the off-road theme, and as you can see, your dials are configurable as per off-road mode. Next comes your efficiency. Next comes your lounge for more luxury experience. Then comes the standard, the original Mercedes theme. As she's fitted with air suspension, so every time you got to lower or raise the height, you don't have to go to the infotainment, but you have a shortcut button over here, and it's an aluminum finish too. As standard, you've got adaptive cruise control. The infotainment is really smart, as it recognizes your finger once you just hover over it, and it starts selecting the icons while you're hovering over it. Pretty cool. You've got two wireless chargers in this car, one in the front and one at the back. You've got a mini infotainment system at the rear and it pops out as well for easier access. Brilliant. The camera assistance on the GLS is pretty amazing. Take a look. Also, if you're planning to take your GLS off-roading, it has amazing side view camera visibility so that you do not curb your wheels. So from this mini infotainment system, you can almost control everything in the car and you do not have to disturb the front passengers to make some changes on the rear. Starting with the radio, the media, and comes the comfort. That's the main palette. The first is the seat controls. So what the seat controls, there are manual switches present, but you can control the seats electronically through these buttons, and you can also choose which seat you want to change. Now moving on to the ambient lighting, what I find really cool is Mercedes have paid an amazing attention to detail, because as soon as you change the ambient lighting color, the colors in the screen change as well. Brilliant touch. Now moving on to the sun blinds, and this is my favorite bit. So if you're annoyed with looking at the peasants outside and you want to take a nap with these softer pillows, you can just press a button, close everything and block all the peasants out. And vice versa, if you're on a good open road, you can open everything with a close touch of a button, and that's pretty much it about the mini infotainment system. Inside the GLS, and the first impression you get is that you cannot beat Mercedes when it comes to the interior layouts. I mean, look at the whole interior. It looks so luxurious and elegant. Also, the build quality is sturdy. The materials used are soft. Even on the side door, it is nice. All the things are plushed with aluminium. Your seat controls, everything over here is aluminium and it looks brilliant. Also, I like this wooden material that is used all over here and here, but Mercedes have cheaped out on some parts, like this plasticky bit over here, this part and scratchy door bins. Now let's talk the middle part, the separator. So first you have this aluminium button which reveals your cup holders and your wireless charging pad. Over here is your pad to control the infotainment screen. Onto that in a moment. Over here you have a pad to rest your arm so that you can swerve and control your infotainment system. You have some shortcut buttons over here. The volume control button is also plushed in aluminium, and your drive selector is right over here. Now coming to the main center of attraction, the infotainment screen. As you can see, the graphics are crisp and the screen is big. It is pretty responsive. Even if you open up the navigation maps, as you can see, maps is beautifully laid out. The graphics again are very sharp and crisp, and there is no lag at all. In the second row of the GLS, and people say it right, GLS is the S-Class of the SUV segment. I mean, look at the space I have here. I have enough headrooms. The windows are big and they open all the way so that you can enjoy breeze and can rest your arm outside. But overall, speaking about the look and feel, the car feels nice from behind. It feels luxurious. All the materials and the niceness has continued from the front to the back, and I have space. What I don't like about the car is under thigh support. I think it lacks that, but you've also got electronic blinds. Also, with the press of a button, you can control the blind for the glass roof like this to get more privacy. Also, if you pull this down, you have this screen, which is a mini infotainment of the front screen, and the screen does come out as well for more comfort. But coming over here, you have your wireless charging pad, some storage right down below, and also you've got your climate controls for the second row. But the middle seat is a little small and under thigh support is close to none. Now to access the third row, you can do it with the press of a single button, and as you can see, it does everything automatically. I don't know why I do this, but into the third row of the GLS, and the first thing you gotta do.
2 hours later.
In the third row of the GLS, and the first impression you get for the third row, it's quite spacey out here. As you can see, I have enough headroom, just about enough knee room, and yes, I am 6'3", and the seats are wide enough and another person can sit comfortably over here. Also, you've got all the buttons to control the seat. With press of button, you can do everything to get more comfortable. And overall, it's a very standard back seat, but it exists. Before I take her on a drive, let's talk numbers. So the GLS, as I've told you guys, the GLS comes in two variants in India, that are your GLS 450 and 450D. Both have a 3-liter 6-cylinder engine rated to a 9-speed gearbox, the petrol producing 372 bhp and 500 Nm of torque, whereas the diesel producing 362 bhp and 750 Nm of torque. If you want more power, you can go for the MBUX, which gives you 550 bhp and 750 Nm of torque. Also, it's a V8. Out in the open road in the GLS, and the first impression you get is how humongous this car is. It almost makes you feel overwhelmed sometimes. But moving on to the main review of the car, and while you're cruising along, this car is a comfortable cruiser. The suspension setup is nice and soft. The ground clearance is, of course, a lot, so you don't have to worry about those bumps. And you can just simply cruise around in your GLS, and it's a pretty good ride. The windows are big, the side view mirrors are chunky and big, and the visibility is amazing. And the thing that surprised me the most is the rear window visibility. Considering the size of the car, the rear window should be pretty useless, and this rear view mirror should be, but that's not the case at all. I can literally see everything over here. And now testing the maneuverability, I'm gonna make a tight U-turn. This car surprisingly handles well considering how big she is. While this car is absolutely huge and does not have sports mode, but it's not going to stop us from doing our thing. And now it's time to floor it. Whew, man, this car does have power, but they should have definitely given a sports mode in it just to peppy up the performance a little bit. Now onto the back seat, because people who buy this car certainly want to sit in the back seat and relax and enjoy the drive. In the back seat of GLS, and wait, let me get my comfort right. It's too sunny first of all, so let me just close all the blinds so the sun doesn't bother me. And you can control the front seat from the back. Let me just create some room for myself. Now that I've got my comfort right, look at how much space I've got, and a special mention to this pillow, which is absolutely brilliant and is soft and luscious and will make you fall asleep like this. But talking about the overall practicality over here, you can move the front seat from a switch right over here. You've got your AC vent on this pillar over your head and your traditional vent over here. You've got your separate climate control zones right for both passengers. Also comes to the main part, this infotainment system. You do not have to look over here and be in discomfort. You can just right over, take it away and use it, and you can tell your chauffeur where to go by changing the destination from this, and it will display up in the front. And talking about the ride quality from the back seat, it is pretty nice. Again, like I explained, the suspension setup is brilliant. You do not feel a lot of bumps, and the engine is tuned in such a way where you do not feel a lot of acceleration while you're sitting in the middle row. And wrapping up the middle row by saying it's a good business class experience. If you want the first class experience, you can of course go and buy the MBUX if you have the means, but this is a good business class seating. Now onto the third row. Onto the third row of the GLS, and the first thing you notice is I actually fit. Yes, I'm a 6'3" guy, so the knee room is just about fine. The headroom is good enough, but the front passenger has to sacrifice, as the seat needs to be in a little upright position for you to fit your knees inside. But I think that should do, because you have tons of room in the second row. And it's pretty comfortable space you've got here. You've also got your 2 USBs on each side, making it 4, so your kids or people who are sitting behind won't get bored. And overall, this third seat
I'm actually pretty surprised because I have a record of not fitting into the third rows of any car. But over here, I'm also as surprised as you guys. So what's my final verdict about the GLS? So if you're kind of a guy who's got a huge family and likes to be chauffeured around, I think GLS is the right fit for you. And if you want something more comfortable, Maybach is of course always on the take in the market. Now if you're kind of a guy who likes to drive around a little bit, you should definitely go for the GLE because it's much more easy to maneuver. And if you guys are thinking to consider X7, in my opinion, the GLS does look pretty mean and better from both inside and outside than the X7. And that's pretty much it about this video. Like and subscribe. See you guys in the next video.